Well, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana Weather, bringing you the latest forecast video update here. It is Saturday morning around 11 a.m. Eastern Time as we're getting here, and more rain in the forecast. Looks like it's going to stay pretty spotty today at best. If I pull up radar, there are a couple of showers around the area, but it's sort of not lit up all over the place, and well, that's a good thing. We certainly don't need it lit up. Now, as we look at future radar for later today, what you'll do notice here is that this afternoon we get some spotty showers and thunderstorms developing around the area, pretty much like we saw the past couple of days. Could some of these have some very heavy rain with them? Absolutely, but it's going to be hit and miss, and there's going to be really no way to determine where they're going to happen. They're just around the area. We'll see who gets it. Unlike the past couple of days, we really don't have great forcing in the upper levels coming across us today to be able to provide that lift and fuel for the storms. We don't have it nearly as good as what we did the past couple of days. So maybe, just maybe, that might make it a little bit drier. We'll run with about a 30% to maybe even 20% chance of showers today. Not too bad overall. Now, the pattern, unfortunately, that we were locking into is going to be continued a wet one. As we look at the GFS and we put here into motion, what you see is, well, we get some breaks from the rain. Here's Indiana right here. Where the cursor's at if you're trying to follow along on a phone screen. I know it can be a little small sometimes. But as you follow along, you see we got plenty of rain chances coming in through here. And it's just about nearly daily rain chances. Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're fairly large. But as far as the eye can see, until we get to near the end of the forecast, just about daily or nearly daily rain chances going on there. The weather is not going to let up, unfortunately. Now, next week we will have our rain chances being just a little bit less. That said, as we look at rain totals from the modeling over the next couple of weeks here, it still continues to show a good solid 1 to 2 inches worth of rain or more around the area here. And of course, we know we can get that out of one little storm that pops up over us. But this is just a general overview of what you can expect from this pattern in the next couple of weeks, unfortunately. Now, we do have a brief heat wave that's going to come next week. We've got some fairly cool temperatures today. Highs today only going to top out around 82 or so across the area. That's not bad for this time of the year. I mean, it's July 30th rather. You expect temperatures close to 90. And we're going to be in the low 80s today. That's not bad for a Saturday at all. The reason this is we got a dip in the jet stream over us, but and of course the ridge that was providing us that hot weather has retreated out to our west. But as I put the charts here into motion, what you're going to see is that as next week rolls on, we're getting that ridge move back over us more towards the central plains. So it's going to not be burning up hot for us, but it's going to be warmer for us than what it is. We're going to look for temperatures to be close to 90 degrees, upper 80s to very low 90s around the area again as you head into the mid parts of next week. So it's going to be a little warmer than what it has been, but also the good news is it looks like it's another pretty short-lived ridge. It will retreat back to the west, and then what you're going to have is this classic, what we call this northwest flow pattern going on here, where instead of it being zonal or coming up like this, what you see is the jet stream coming down from the northwest. That indicates that active flow, and that's what continues to bring these disturbances over us pretty quickly that can produce the rain. So we're going to go back into that pattern, unfortunately, the way it looks. Temperatures, by the way, there you can see it illustrated pretty well, low to mid 80s around the area for this weekend, but progressively after that, you notice that we start to get a little bit warmer, and as we get into the mid parts of next week, we got temperatures near the 90-degree mark, maybe some upper 80s in a few places, 91, 92 in some places. It's not burning up hot. It's actually more towards the normal side for this year, really. We should be about 88 for our normal high right now. So it's not burning up hot, but nonetheless, it's going back warmer than it is. But it's a roller coaster ride as you head later into August. I mean, look at this. You're talking mid parts of August, and you're talking temperatures in the low to mid 80s here. So we'll take that. That's not that bad at all. You can go to southernindianaweather.com and click on 10-day forecast to get your updated 10-day, folks. And again, there's the rain chances just about as far as the eye can see until you get later in the period. As we get into midweek next week, there's your warm up, 88, 89, somewhere in there, maybe a 90 thrown in there. But then it cools back down after that. Really not that bad. Rain chances, of course, on Tuesday. Not going to be that bad either, about 40% by the time you head into Wednesday. A pretty isolated chance with the heart of that ridge over us. As that ridge starts to break down, we go with maybe a 30 or 40% for Thursday and Friday there. And then next weekend. Some rain chances there as well. So not high rain chances, but certainly not low ones either. All right, really quickly, want to talk about what's going on in the tropics, La Nina. I wanted to give you just a brief update to that. First off, if you've missed it, I've got my early winter forecast preview already released out over on the website. All you have to do to get to that is just go to southernindianaweather.com. When you get to the main page, you can see the forecast discussions scrolling through here, and one of them will be the early winter forecast preview. You can just click on that, or you can go over here and click on the blog button as well. When you click on the blog button, it's going to take you to a list of all my blogs. Scroll down and find the early winter 16-17 forecast preview, and right there it will be, and you can take a look at uh, some of those thoughts on what the early winter forecast will bring us, and you can read more about that. One of the things I talk about in there is La Nina and the fact that La Nina is struggling to getting developed. Modeling takes it to a pretty much week or okay, my apologies there for the jumpiness in the video. I had to take care of something real quick, but week two neutral conditions here, really, for what it's showing on the La Nina over the next few months, and that of course assumes that it's even going to get going right now. I had showed you, if you read that, sort of where this position was. Here's what your La Nina is out here, and you can see that's the abnormal cooling of the water out there. Well, here's what we've got going on right now, and you can see there it is, but it's struggling to get going because look at the temperature change there over the last 7 days, and you can see a little bit of warming right here in this region where we would see it. You see it on the indices as well. It was starting to get going pretty good, but now we're starting to trend back up in a positive direction. That's exactly what I said. If you watch the forecast video at the end of that blog post, it explains a lot more. One of the things that I've said several times in there is you're probably going to see an up and down in this indice for a little while. So if you're hearing somebody say, well, La Nina is here, it is not here yet. It is not here yet. It is struggling to get established. I do think it will eventually. There's a question of how strong the La Nina becomes. I think it's going to be a weak La Nina this winter at best, and there's a possibility it doesn't even really establish this winter, and it doesn't establish until next year. There's a distinct possibility in that. If you remember a couple of years ago, whenever we were forecasting El Nino, we kept saying El Nino's coming, El Nino's coming, El Nino's coming. The model said, oh, it's here by winter, it's here by winter, and that winter we did not have it, and it was the next year before it started to establish. There's a distinct possibility that could happen with this La Nina as well. Our modeling just doesn't handle these ENSO El Nino Southern Oscillation events very well. So even though it says La Nina is coming, I do think it's coming, but the question is when. Would not be surprised in the slightest to see it coming a little bit later than the model is expecting. Now, of course, that's going to have some big implications on our winter forecast there as well. You can read all about that on the blog. There is a possibility that could make us back into a cooler and snowier than normal season, but we will wait and see at this point. If you're interested, go to the blog for a little bit more information about that. All right, folks, that is it for this update. Some spotty storms there again around this weekend, but not too bad. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite for SouthernIndianaWeather.com. Have a great day, folks. Enjoy your weekend.